Yo, what's up, guys? R5 averaging 1 minute without having pretty much any grinds on the whole team. How does it work? Well, to be honest, R5 is very easy at the moment. This is literally so easy. I would say most of these units are free to play. The ones that are not free to play, I will mention a replacement for. Bunch of the runing that I did is kind of specific for R5 that it makes sense for, well, what stats they have and that kind of stuff. My hair is still messy because I'm still like slightly hangover from last few days of drinking. But yeah, this team is just super solid. It does do a lot of damage. Mainly the right team that is like the heavy damage dealer. Mid team is like a little bit of hybrid on damage dealing and debuffing. And then left team is more of the heavy on the damage dealing. Or more heavy on the, well, armor breaking, I would say, but also debuffing on this one. But it's still decent for damage as well. This team is 100%. I haven't seen it fail a single time. Funny thing is, before I did the whole reruning of the previous video that I showcased on like the update of this account, I didn't fail a single time as well. So what is the main thing that helps out a lot? Getting your glory towers in. So if you haven't done your glory towers yet, definitely start upping your glory towers because it's just very important to get so much good stuff in. I would also say for R5, if you want to do R5 with not great rune quality, the Panda Fusion plus the skill ups on minimum the S2 is a must. It's just such a great unit for this. This thing hits like a truck. It provides pretty much every debuff in the game. And this thing is just a great cleanse, healing, and then also counters for armor breaks. So that is that. Let's actually look at the team. So middle team, what we have is we have a Konomiya. I don't really like Konomiya too much, but I kind of wanted to have a cleanser in there. You could maybe put another cleanser in there. Not entirely sure which one I would like to place in there yet. We have the Saurian frontline is somewhat damages. I could put him backline, maybe make him a little bit more damage. But from what I've noticed, he's okay on the frontline because he has the passive of damage reduction anyways. And then we have the twins in the backline. Those are the main damage dealers. And we have Mav that also provides like, well, a little bit of cleansing, a little bit of cooldown reduction. And it's just a triple fight unit. So going over the runes, this one is actually one of those sets which I recommend people to go for. At some point you have a whole bunch of sets that don't really make sense on anything specifically. Just combine them, high efficient set, add that in together. We have the Konomiya. I'd like to have her on will, so she doesn't get slowed, and therefore the turn order the turn order gets messed up. Holy shit, out to English. And then we have resistance going at least 59, because 59 resistance lead, and then it's max. So I have pretty much all of my support units focus on that 59 resistance, simply because it comes 100 resistance with that resistance lead. This was actually quite a bit a longer run. It happens from time to time, but we can also get those 42 seconds, as you can see. If we zoom into the individual runes, wait, can I do that from here as well? Yeah, you can check that like none of these runes pretty much have any grind. So I can add a lot of speed just adding those things in. Well, continuing on, Colleen is still runed for raid as well. No, not for raid, for necro, and therefore has the resistance. Resistance is or not the resistance. The revenge. The revenge is also pretty nice to do an S1 armor break the moment that something happens. So that's helps out a little bit as well. This one just triple fight and tanky. This one is going for the 76 crit rate with the Theomar's crit rate lead. That's why you get 100. And then just adding in a bunch of stats and make sure you're not too squishy, but also make sure that you do a lot of damage. And this one is also happened to be triple fight because of the event. I got so many fight runes and I was like, might as well throw it somewhere. And I have a bunch of skill ups on the Shina already because I pulled the Shina super early. And I used the Summoner's Way skill ups that we got over there to actually throw them into Shina. So she has a bit of skill ups already. Not the most useful out there, but it definitely does help quite a bit as well. Let's look at the other team. Also for turn order, I have Colleen moving first. No, wait, I have Konomiya moving first because Konomiya is going for the cleanse, and then I have Colleen. If you don't make Konomiya move first, Konomiya is going to go for research on whatever unit moved right before her. So make sure that Konomiya moves first, and then the others doesn't really matter too much for like what turn order you go for. And then moving on to the other teams. Let's go to the left team first. Team free to play 2A, let's call it that way. So in this team we have, of course, the Lauren moving first, then Fran, and then we have, well, this team does tend to die a little bit from time to time. I will also throw my first grinds that I have towards this team. I could decide to put the Fran backline. I think I will do that actually, because we have the two units on high defense tanking frontline anyways. But this team, like if there is a team to die, it's mostly this team right now because it's just the friend healing. And afterwards, not that much healing. So that's also what you notice, like, is dying first. You should start throwing your grinds at first. So my friend and my Lauren and also the Crow will be the first to receive grinds. And from there, we're going to see, like, what other units need grinds. It's also the team with only one actual healer because the Xiongfei is kind of a healer, but not really. And also the friend that mostly decides to waste her skills as well. But this is pretty hard hitting team because we have the Crow in there. We have, like, a lot of armor break mechanics in there. You could say that the Ikaru might maybe be nice to be slower than Crow, but for the other things where I want to use these units, it is useful that it's actually faster than, so therefore it's in this position where it's faster than. And we have the Crow as a heavy damage dealer, once again on the 76 on the crit rate. And then this thing is also, once again, the resistance is pretty high. Crit rate is somewhat on the lower side, but we have the Thessarian lead once again, so it kind of averages out that it's an okay crit rate. And once again, if we look at those runes, I think he maybe has some, no, also, like, none of those really have, like, grinded runes whatsoever. So there's a lot of improvement to make here as well. Crow, definitely strong damage dealer, but it's not the main damage dealer in this whole set. As we can see that the Theomar's team is going to be the main damage team that we have. And that is the team we're going to zoom in a second. And that also has an interesting one that's highest on damage, because you can see the team over here. It's not the Naomi, it's not the Theomars, it's the Shaolin. And Shaolin actually was a HOH recently. And it is a very, very strong unit. It does a lot of damage because it has the potential for going for S1, S2, S3 because of having a small chance of getting that extra skills in. It also has, well, just the revenge in there from that as well. But as you can see, 30k per hit because our third skill is scaling from enemy debuffs. 30k per hit for an account that's like 50 days old, and then you have that multi-hitting like what, times 4? That is just insane. She really does like an insane amount of damage. So that is the main thing. Naomi, of course, good damage dealer as well. And then there's some good supports around it with the Lulu, with the Shannon, with the Bella, and overall just very strong, solid team, I would say. So looking at the runes, as you can see, like these two have kind of the same damage. This one is actually a Fatal Fight set. I happen to have like an okay fight rune in there that kind of paired well with a Fatal rune. And yeah, that kind of works out. This one is actually a fire one, so it can go pretty ham on like just spamming skills when fire proccing and that kind of stuff. Always nice, right? And then the other units, the supports in the front line, same principle as all of the other supports. 59 on the resistance. The units that need to crit go for, well, the crit rate on the edge, that it's actually 100 as well. So pretty straightforward on those teams. Yeah, but this team I would say is definitely very nice. And it's full free-to-play as well, including like if you see her as a free-to-play unit because of the HOH recently. The only two units that are not full free-to-play are the Shaina and Sabrina in here. But the very easy solution is, I would say, any unit that you pull that is a 4-star that could be a heavy hitter. Let's go through a few because there's a bunch of them that are very strong for it. Hua is an insanely good placement on that place if you happen to have her. Phantom Thief, the Jean is pretty decent on that as well. We have a star that's very good in that position. That's definitely something that you could put over there as well. And Huahi is decent for that as well because all of the S3s go to that little bit of extra armor break and glancing and then Amuse as well. So a bunch of units that you can throw there. Do we have some in water for the 4-stars? That could be kind of useful. You could say maybe some of the Barbaric Kings because they have the branding as well. And they do quite some damage, but it's an option. I'm not sure if it's that great. Of course, Talia is better than China if you happen to have that one. So that's a nice pair there too. Argon is fully free to play. That's definitely nice in that damage position. We have, I think, Yen. Where's Yen at? Can't find her. Yen, I did pull her already. Yen is pretty good for the damage position as well. Ayunu is something. Oh, no, wait, that's not the Ayunu. This is the Ayunu. Ayunu you could place over there. So there's a whole bunch of options that probably you pulled something already that you can use in that position that can do the damage. If you don't happen to have that, it's very simple. Put in the Fire Drunken Master and then probably the Wind Drunken Master. And with those two, it's just very simple already, like good damage out there. You could also try to switch up the teams a little bit to have the Drunken Masters more paired up with the units that also do the team-ups. So you put them in the team of Ikaru, or you put them in the team of the Rogue. Like if you place them over here, and you definitely can see that this team is struggling the most with surviving out there. So that's definitely where my first grinds will be going to, because the longer your team survive, the more damage they can do, the more the spread the damage is and that kind of stuff. So it just makes things a little bit easier out there. But I must say, I am quite surprised for how fast this whole team is, that we're getting sub 1 minute already on average. Well, it's around 1 minute. It kind of depends. Like I've seen an average of like 55, but I also seen an average of like 105. So kind of depends where it's at. But the moment I would put all of those grinds in, I would probably be looking at like probably 50 seconds, 55 seconds-ish. No, I would say 50 seconds-ish. Which is just insanely strong. That's running R5 is actually really easy. Like if you don't happen to have a solo R5 yet, definitely start building it. And you could say like, okay, I have to do some R4. I also mentioned it before, like you have to do some R4 to start doing R5. Actually, not really the case that much. Like if you wait long enough that you have your glory towers up, you can go straight to R5. But you need those glory towers near maxed to go straight to R5, and otherwise, I would say if you do like a week of R4, you get enough grinds on the team that dies. So you just start checking like, okay, which team dies? Do I maybe have to change something to the team? Like if I put that Ikaru away and I put another healer in here, then it would already be a lot safer. Like for example, I could remove the Ikaru and place in one of the Drunken Masters, like the Water Drunken Master and the Wind Drunken Master, actually provide healing. So were I to say, like, maybe it even works better, I'm not even 100% sure. Let's give that a try for one run. So that's also where we have the end of the run, and I think we're a little bit over 1 minute in this case. Also, for now, I'm keeping all of the grinds. Like, I'm not selling anything until I have quite a lot of grinds, and then just see how it goes from there. So these two units are pretty tanky. I have the water one. Water one isn't ruined anymore, but this one is, which also does provide a little bit of healing on those two skills. And with this, I'm pretty sure that's, yes, we don't care about that thing. Yes, thank you. Probably this will make it a little bit better for the tanking. Not sure if the Lauren makes it difficult to do right now for the tanking, but this might actually speed up the run. So let's see how that works out. Drunken Masters are actually very nice for this whole thing. But in this case, there's a little bit less team-ups. But you could see like the ignored defenses of the Drunken Master, they're like 15k. Plus the Drunken Master, I think, has the S1 that weakens the attack power. And weakening attack power on skill 1 is very strong in this whole raid. Because the moment it has the attack break, it just does so much less damage. So definitely would say, like, if you're failing on your R5, try to check in if you maybe have some of those Drunken Masters that might kind of weirdly fit in your team somewhere. We also have a team up with Drunken Master right there, and then he hits like 21k. So yeah, those are just very nice hits in general that you would say like, okay, that definitely does help out to make this team slightly more surviving, slightly stronger, slightly anything. Sure, it still gets stunned and that kind of stuff, so a actually healer in there might, well, he's actually a healer, like he has this skill that heals him. So yeah, I would say that this team is maybe even stronger than the team that I was doing with the Ikaru, so I maybe just keep running this and remove the Ikaru completely. But that's why you see that just a little bit of switching, a little bit of checking, and you could have a nice team right there. So yeah, that's it for this video for R5. I will be having a video on the Rift bosses as well, because I have all of them triple S. Probably gonna show one run of each, but yeah, just gonna go over all of them, which will be in a future video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you appreciate this whole series. If you do, please like and subscribe. Also, leave something in the comment section, and see you as always in the next one.